Hi, everybody. Pastor Jim here, and I just got done watching one of the best works of fiction I've ever seen in my life. Um, for those of you that are unaware, I guess the History Channel is doing some sort of special called The Bible. I'd heard about this and I had no interest in watching it. And honestly, tonight I just was flipping through channels and I accidentally ended up on it for about 5 minutes. And I decided that I needed to watch the rest of the episode just to see how much wrong they could possibly get. So, first of all, apparently Moses and Pharaoh were sparring partners as teenagers, which is great to know. And, Pharaoh liked to paint his face and his entire body in gold, which I'm sure is in the Bible. Um, Secondly, did you know that everybody in ancient Israel has a British accent? I didn't know that. That is shocking to me. Absolutely shocking to me. Um, let's see here. Third, I have no notes. Usually I have notes for these things, but I have no notes. Third, apparently the spies that go to visit Rahab as the Joshua is trying to enter in Jericho, apparently they're ninjas. I did not know that either. And apparently everybody else in the town of Jericho has really significant weapons training skills. Um, just so much wrong. And I get that when you're doing something like this, the Bible doesn't give a whole lot of details about the interactions between individuals. So you need to kind of write your own piece of what you think happens in between the moments of the scriptures. I'm fine with that. But seriously, Israelite ninjas, does anybody not understand the fact that these come from a military slaves, and even 40 years after being slaves, they wouldn't have had this amazing training because they were nomads for those 40 years. It's not like they've got Jackie Chan with them that's saying, this is what you do with the weapon, this is what you do with the spear, this is what you do with the sword. And so, um, okay, all of this to say, if you are watching the Bible on the History Channel, um, and this is something I probably should have said before this series started. The History Channel loves to take liberties with the scriptures. Loves to take liberties with the scriptures. Um, and the idea that they're going to do multiple nights of what's basically the equivalent of major motion pictures every single week of the stories of the Bible, you're going to get so many inaccuracies, so many mistakes, so many things that are just personal interpretation of what happened. That just please, if you're going to watch it, just watch it for entertainment. Although I didn't even think it was very good in that sense, um, but don't watch it to help you understand what the scriptures have to say any better, because that's not what it's there for. It's entertainment. Um, I do think it's kind of disturbing that I see all these commercials for like Bible apps and like christianmingle.com during the commercial breaks for this. In that sense, to me, it's like community is affirming what is not a very accurate interpretation of scriptures, at least in my opinion. Um, and just as an example, as I was watching this, I mean, I thought some of the stuff was good. Don't get me wrong. In the sense of because you do have to sort of piece together what you think is going on in the background because the Bible doesn't give you a lot of those details. There's some interesting perspectives. Um, as disturbing as it was interesting, the angel of death going around and passing over the Israelite houses and what he does to the non-Israelite houses. With that being said, I don't know about you, but if you're watching it, I was actually on the side of the Egyptians as the Israelites are trying to get away because you get this scene of Pharaoh's son dramatically being killed. You know, it's almost bringing tears to your eyes how awful this seems. And then the next scene is Moses with his staff in the air, like, "Yay, we won, we won!" And 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 then even after that, when they crossed the Red Sea, just the perspective was just very dramatic and very much it just seemed like it was trying to get you to sympathize with the Egyptians, and that's an interesting perspective when it comes. Um, but anyways, like I said, just make sure that you're not taking it as scripture. Just please don't. Don't come to me on Sunday and say, "Hey, I didn't know that the spies that went to visit Rahab were ninjas. That is awesome." 'Cause that's just not the case. Um, one last little ranty kind of thing about this. And just for the purpose of full disclosure, I didn't see the first hour. So whatever they did for creation and for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and oh my gosh, I don't even want to know what they did for Isaac and Abraham when God asks Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. They probably have Isaac in tears, bawling and asking him, "Please, Daddy, don't do this," or something like that. I shouldn't say that because I didn't see it, so I'll have to go back and watch it. But just one of the last things just to note is a little bit of a theme I saw in this hour that I caught and in the preview for the next week's show is that they seem to be focusing more on the power of individuals rather than the power of God. Like even the way they show Moses like slamming the staff down in front of the Red Sea, to sort of initiate God's power. The whole point of Scripture is to understand that humanity is powerless, and that it's God that does give us abilities and strength and the possibilities to perform miracles, but we don't do that in a very bombastic sort of way. We do it with humility, accepting that God has blessed us by having the chance to serve. So I'd be really interested in knowing if you're watching this and you're listening to me and you're thinking, what in the world are you talking about? I love this program. I thought it was great. Please leave a comment, because I would love to hear why you liked it. And I'm not going to knock that you liked it. If you liked it, that's fine. But I'd just be interested in knowing what you liked about it if you did like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is just me and my opinion. Um, but my opinion's right. So, anyways, but yeah, seriously, if you liked it, leave a comment and let me know what you thought and why you liked it. If you have questions from something that you saw in this, please leave a comment too, because odds are there's a lot of stuff that they got wrong, and you might be saying to yourself, "I don't remember that in the Bible," and it's probably because it's not there. I will do my best to try and catch the first hour of this. I'll see if it's on demand on Comcast or if I can catch it on online somewhere, because I'm just fascinated to see what they did with creation. So, anywho, hopefully this video works. I'm using the old system, um, but I hope everybody's doing well. I haven't done a video in a week, but it's good to see. And I hope everybody's doing well. Lots of prayers for friends and family that are not doing well right now. Folks that we have in the hospital, and I'll talk to you guys again after a while.